that little event. Come on in, everybody from the back. Let's come on in so we can get the Sun and Fun meeting started. Okay, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Woo! All right. Welcome to our first Sun and Fun. Hello. Our first Sun and Fun volunteer meeting for 2014. Another great turnout. Another amazing year is what's in front of us. I just want to give you a quick hello, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Lights. Please turn off your cell phones. Just some housekeeping things. There are bathrooms right through the hallway here. Of course, there's coffee. You guys have found that. There's also bathrooms upstairs. If we did have an emergency, we would go straight out this door here. Okay? And, of course, we have an exit door here. But the idea would be to go straight out to the field out there. So no worries. As I say, welcome. Go Broncos. Hello, Lights.
Thanks, Karen. Thanks for the use of your facility. The FAA is such a wonderful teammate for us here at Sun and Fun and allows us to use this regularly. Thank you all so very much for coming out in inclement weather. And my hat's off to all of you that came in convertibles and on your motorcycles. Your positive attitude is very infectious. Thank you very much. All righty. If I could please, to get this thing kicked off, is it going to work now? Laura, I'm going to blame nobody but you.
It worked when we tested it.
Well, let's see. What do we got here?
I don't know.
Are we going to go forward? Uh-oh. We have small technical difficulties.
Well, we may have to do it the old-fashioned way and hit enter. There. See, that's who he is.
All right. We know that one. There you go. Unfortunately, we're going to skip that first part. We got a migraine going on, but if you would join me in reaffirming our allegiance to our country, please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing. Hold on for a moment, and I get Mr. Mark Rittemeyer. We may not be able to do this in the public schools, but we can sure do it here. Mark?
Amen. Amen. As many of us as chairman of other areas, we have now a co-chairman. And so Jeff Johnson, standing here on my right, your left, is our new co-chairman for the chaplains area. Anyway, Jeff will be here at our next meeting, but he had a previous engagement. So would you join me as we pray? Heavenly Father, we are grateful that we can gather today in preparation for the 40th annual fly-in. We pray today, Lord, that you would give us wisdom and knowledge. We pray that this would be the safest event we've ever had. We pray for clear skies and light winds, and we ask that in all that we do, you would bless that. We ask it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. All right, please sit down. All right, the fun's to begin. 2014. Who would have ever imagined that so you're going to crank through these for me, Miss Laura? All righty. Who would have ever imagined 40 years ago that a group of intrepid aviation enthusiasts would come together at Lake Linder Airport and put a plan together that was going to stay solvent, successful, and a major player in aviation for 40 years? Nobody saw that coming. Thank God for volunteers. All right, we got a few special guests I want to get recognized before we get right into the program here. Over in Orlando at the FSDO is Diane Fraun. Is Diane here? Where are you at, Diane? There she is. Thank you, Diane. Diane, the way it works now, and I think you'll attest to this, you own this facility now, right? Is this under your purview? So, again, it's come and gone, and now it's back under the Orlando FSDO, and that's good because they're good friends of Sun and Fun. Obviously, you know Karen O'Farrell. She's already been up here. Thank you, Karen. We're only days away from your birthday for the Irish. All righty. Boyd, who is the air traffic manager. Where's Boyd? Boyd? Boyd didn't come. He's on his way. Would that be a typical air traffic controller? Late to the show? Just let them all land till I get there. All right. We got Brett Fay. Brett from our Lakeland lender. Thank you, Brett. If you're wondering where our intrepid airport manager, Mr. Gene Conrad, and his trusted sidekick, Nan Walsh, are at, don't feel sorry for them. They are supporting one of our staff members, Wayne Boggs, at the Super Bowl fly-in. Woohoo! You probably didn't know this, but they do have a fly-in at the Super Bowl. They're much bigger jets than we normally get here, but it's thousands of aircraft come pouring in there starting today, all the way right up before the game, getting their helicopters, their limos, and roll right into the Super Bowl. So Wayne's up there doing air traffic controlling, managing all the movement of aircraft on the ground. It's pretty intricate, believe it or not. And Nan and Gene and Nan's husband John are all supporting agents in that, so they will not be with us today. Go Broncos again. Okay. Okay, Frank Lane from the tower. Frank, are you here? Where is Frank? Oh, he's air traffic controller. He'll be late. Okay. All right. Now the school principal for our Central Florida Aerospace Academy, Keith Smith. Keith, where are you at? Back there in the back? All right. Good job. Those are major players in everything we do here at Sun and Fun, and it's a good thing we've got them. Now, my special guest is Mr. Bob Knight, the chairman of our board, my trusted sidekick in crime, mentor, and when the bill comes due, he's my dad. So come on up, Bob.
All I get to do is to pay the bills, I guess, or drum up the money. I don't have much to say, but what I do want to say is that we really appreciate the volunteers, and especially the area chairman volunteers and how much they do. And I want to introduce another volunteer group, because sometimes people say, well, the volunteers don't get as much say-so, but we do have a volunteer group that does have a lot of say-so, and we're all volunteers, and that's our board of directors. So if y'all would stand and be recognized, if we got some of them here. These are all volunteers. And I can assure you that they all spend a lot of time and some of their money as well trying to help out. We appreciate it. And one other group of volunteers that Lights didn't mention that I'd like to thank personally is the ROTC students over at the high school. They do a super job for us. So thanks a lot, and let's get a good show going.
It probably should go without saying, but I'm going to make the comment that one of the great things about the Sun and Fun organization is that everybody pulls together. And in the last, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but in the last 3 years that Nancy and I have been fortunate to be part of this family, I have found that the board of directors has been one of the greatest assets that we could have ever had as a sounding board, as guidance, as oversight, as knowledgeable with their background and experiences with Sun and Fun. They do it in a non-confrontation fashion. Everybody works together for the common good of the growth of Sun and Fun and its well-being. So it's been very pleasurable, because I have been on other organizations where the board and the president have been at odds with one another, and I can honestly say in this particular situation, we are lockstep in the same plan to go forward and make this a relevant organization in aviation for another 40 years and hopefully on in ad infinitum into the future. But it's because of everybody working together. So my hat's off to the board for being teammates and not my adversaries. They've been part of the family, and that makes things so much better. And especially Bob, who if we don't agree, he just gets me liquored up, and then I agree. So, okay, moving right along. Okay, if I could get, I'm going to bring the staff up now because we've had a few changes, and I want everybody to know who's who in the zoo. So if I could have the Sun and Fun staff come up here real quickly. You'll see some up here in a moment, but I want them all up right now. And if you see what our theme is for this year, which is what it started out being, it's America's Hometown Fly-In. This is for the people that love aviation. That's why we exist. And these folks are the ones that work here year-round to help us do that in conjunction with all the volunteer effort. But they come in every day, like it or not, and support what we do. Come on around, come on around. Okay.
We have a really young person on staff.
This is good. Yeah, so it's clear, we got 17, myself included, full-time staff members. We've got another 6 who are part-time, and that comprises the entire staff. And the part-time folks are typically 3 days a week, and then the rest of us all work 5 days a week, 6 days, 7 days, depending on the event we're doing. Everybody knows Murray Freeman? Yay, Murray! He's taken over the lion's share of being responsible not only for the maintenance building, but he's added to that portfolio. He's now the coordinator for all of our logistics that Amy puts together for our rental program. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. See, now once it's out there, he's got to deal with it. Since we last met, I don't know if you knew it or not, but Dave McCrary now is the manager for all of our aircraft maintenance. So every airplane that moves, whether it's in the museum or in our Bueller or in the hangar A, flying or non-flying, he oversees and coordinates that. And with the help of the volunteer staff, actually, we've had a procedural manual put together, and we're looking and smelling and tasting a lot like an FAA-approved repair station, which is a good thing because the kids come in there every day, and they're learning the proper way to do business. And everybody doesn't know Lorenzo, all right? Lorenzo is the one that keeps this place looking sharp. If you come out here during the weekday from 7 o'clock to 4 o'clock, Monday through Friday, you will see this human buzzsaw zipping around the planet, taking down trees, trimming, edging, cleaning, and he is a non-stop human Energizer bunny that keeps this place looking sharp. We've had so many comments about what he's done, so we're thrilled to have him as a permanent member of the team. Don Huey. Don has been tasked with finding ways to do our maintenance business for less, and I have to give a tip of the hat because he's found ways to do what we always did for a lot less without jeopardizing safety or quality, but he has reduced our cost to operate, and it's made huge impacts, as Tracy will tell you in a minute, on our financial portfolio. Rob Williams is brand new to the game. Rob comes to us from an aviation background, over 2,000 hours in the sky, 727, 737s, flight instruction. He now heads up our Discovery Center, Aerospace Discovery in the Florida Air Museum as we transition that to our interactive, hands-on, recognize the past, grow with the future experience in aviation. So he's managing that for us, and we're thrilled to have him as part of the team. Amy, Amy has created a tremendous amount of work for all of us. Okay. You know, there's an old saying, careful what you ask for, you might get it. We decided about 1.5 years ago that we were going to try and rent the facility more regularly to create another revenue stream and get more exposure for what Sun and Fun's all about. Amy's done that in spades, and as Murray will attest to, and all of us, it's been some growing challenges, but the truth be known, it's a phenomenal asset to Sun and Fun. We have so many more events going on now than we had in the past, and it's all positive because it gives us great exposure, and we also have more revenue coming in to offset the bills we create. Melissa. Woo-hoo! Melissa does the designs. If you like the picture you see up here, Melissa put that together, the posters, all the graphic images that we go in all of our brochures and pamphlets, and everybody loves them. She's a tremendously talented lady that has so much to give to create a visual image of what Sun and Fun does. And for that, we couldn't pay her enough. And no, you can't have a raise. But my new sidekick, and she'll get embarrassed, this is my at-work wife. This is Christine. Nancy manages my life. She manages my schedule. Christine comes to us from over at Fantasy of Flight, where she worked over there for 17 years, and we're so glad that they reconstructed the way they do business. You know, Fantasy Flight and Kermit have changed the way they keep the doors open and what he does over there, and because of that, they had personnel changes, and that was a fortunate opportunity for us. Christine is the one that keeps us honest, keeps everybody coordinated, gets the word out, and is just basically the heartthrob of the center of the office in Sun and Fun and keeping the information flowing. Really an asset. Everybody knows, if you're a volunteer, you know Robin. Oh, woo! One of the neat things that Robin has done over the last year is the addition of some major companies that are now volunteering out here. One of the least of which is Camping World. There'll be more to follow about that, but because of her efforts, we now have a major partner right here in Polk County that has the potential to change the complexion of how we do business in our campground at Sun and Fun, all because of her reaching out to the volunteer community and finding new folks that want to help Sun and Fun grow. And my mentor, the one who keeps me in check, Tracy is the Chief Financial Officer. To put it in perspective, this year we finished the audit with no hits, no runs, no errors. Our financial portfolio is clean. It's a positive trend for the first time in many years, and we are all thrilled that she is overseeing the way we do our financial work, keeping track of where the dollars are and making sure we don't spend them, and there's a lot coming in. And for that, we are all eternally grateful because it is changing the way Sun and Fun does business. I'm not even going to mention this lady. She is a challenge to deal with because she's got all these great ideas and then she expects me to do them for her. Okay, see, first person to the chalkboard wins. Laura Vaughn is without a doubt. She likes to think of herself as the chairman for the fly-in. I call her the queen of the fly-in. She really does put this all together. This whole event today is her creation, but more importantly, she coordinates the data of everything that happens at Sun and Fun, and is I think for the first time ever, we're getting all the data cleanly collected, well sorted and organized, so that we have a clear perspective of where we're at and where we're going, and helping you get the information, because she gets that word out. There's no one else that does that besides Laura. She's literally three people combined into one, and the other part of her great personality is that she's probably one of the few people on the staff that stands up to Wayne Boggs and tells him, no, you're not getting that. The public relations world, Sandy owns. Sandy Bridges. All right. All the e-blasts and Facebook, she'll get into that in a minute, but suffice it to say, we're still the #1 air show out there because of her efforts along with Melissa, but telling the story and communicating to the community. There's a lot of events have happened over the last year where we now are building a stronger relationship with the senior leadership of the city of Lakeland, none the least of which is the new mayor, who for the first time is going to host a specially designed event to get the city to come out to recognize Sun and Fun's event before we have it, and get them to say, you know, this is yours. This is ours. I will give you a sneak preview of one of the things she did. We're going to have the governor here. We've never had him officially put it on the calendar. I think one year, Duffy will tell you, he popped in by accident and goes, I wonder why there's so many airplanes out here. Wonder what's going on. All right, that was the one and only time a governor showed. Now we've got him coming for real on the schedule. That's Sandy's efforts. All right, Dave. Dave's going to have the stage up here. Dave Fuller in a minute. Come on, Dave. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but suffice to say, we've got an asset coming that's being instituted at Sun and Fun that's going to blow your socks off. It's absolutely phenomenal. It moves us into the 21st century electronically, and it's all because of Dave's efforts along the lines of keeping all the rest of our IT world safe, and we're still able to communicate electronically. His lovely wife, Lori, is now part of our team. Woo! Lori is the front face of Sun and Fun. She brings a wealth of experience in the retail world, in front office reception work, and a positive personality that has changed the complexion inside of Sun and Fun's administrative offices, where there's more people happy to talk to her. She's quick to find an answer. She doesn't let anybody down that comes through the door, and her friendliness is making a positive impact on those folks that walk in the door for the first time and don't know who we are, but walk away feeling good about it. And then, of course, there's Annette. Annette is the one that makes sure that whatever Tracy wants to have happen is done. She works in the salt mine back there, goes in the morning, closes the door, and unless you knock on it, she's back there pushing papers, signing documents, making me sign checks that I don't want to sign, and following up on the paper trail for all of the Sun and Fun financial effort. And we have found that there was probably not as good a trail we wanted in some areas. It's now being fixed, and because of that, because of Annette's effort with Tracy, it's been changed, and that's why we got that clean record when we had the financial audit and no major hits. Gigi, Greg Gibson, woohoo! Greg comes to us from Minnesota. His family lives in Florida. He is now taking over the role as Business Development Director. He has helped us build new relationships. He will tell you about those in a minute. He is a pilot as well. Matter of fact, this afternoon he'll be flying some of the folks that won the 12 Flights of Christmas as Sun and Fun's gift to the underprivileged here in Lakeland area. And he is a very accomplished air show coordinator. He's put on air shows. He worked with Mr. Fagan when he was alive in the Fagan air show circuit, and he worked out of Minneapolis for several years in a museum. So he knows that business, and his relationship in the air show world is helping us build new bridges to old-time and some now new-term sponsors. And now we got Susan, who she brings not only not only is she great in our gifts of flight and all of our merchandising, but she brings her really strong seaplane pilot Bob along, makes him work for free, which is a good thing. So Susan is working with Neil Glazer in her pilot mall, who's, everybody look in the back there. I want to see Neil Glazer. Raise your hand, Neil. He's standing up back there. Neil's not on our staff because he has a business out here, but because of him coming over here from St. Petersburg, he's drawing more traffic and more interest, and he really is a family teammate of Sun and Fun's. He does a lot of things to help us with our t-shirt design with Susan and marketing, and also making sure the price is right, and that's a wonderful thing. And then, of course, we've got John Iskra, who is our Director for Education. John reaches out. He's the face of Sun and Fun in the educational world all around the Polk County, and he spends several days a week going out and touching those kids. Our goal is to go past that and to bring those young students back into Sun and Fun. So rather than us reaching out to them, we bring them in, because as Rob and John are working together to create this Aerospace Discovery Center inside our Florida Aerospace Center for Excellence, the kids, the young students will want to come here and become part of the future of aviation, and not us have to go tease them, but they actually want to come see what we got. So with that, that's the team that makes it happen. Thank you all very much. Where is Katie? Oh, we have a couple that are not here. One is obviously Bonnie, who does all of our exhibits, and she is on a family issue. And we also have another one who's new to the game, well, old but new. Remember Katie Newmick, who worked in accounts payable? Well, she's come back to take over food vendors for the show, and she's working in finance as well. She's got a last name that starts with a C and a whole bunch of consonants that I can't pronounce. So Katie's back with us, but she's in Houston as a godparent of a young child out there, so we missed her today. All righty. And that's the new logo for the Aerospace Center for Excellence. And that is the first 7 buildings as you drive onto the Sun and Fun campus. That's our mission. That's Sun and Fun's mission, to preserve and enhance the future of flight through world-class events, inspiring and educating people of all ages. And the big part of that is inspiring and educating people of all ages. The aerospace industry is in challenge right now, and we're trying to be part of the solution in getting people back into that program. And that's why we have created the Aerospace Center for Excellence. I'm sure you figured out right away. The acronym for that is, it's our ACE. It's our ACE in the hole. And I'll be the first to tell you that right now, because of the creation of that entity, and we can get into that later, I won't belabor the point, but because of that entity now, we have large aerospace industry leaders who heretofore would not have invested in Sun and Fun the fly-in, but will invest in the Sun and Fun that's building a brighter future through our aviation programs that are definable, they're visible, and they're being successful. We're putting kids in cockpits, maintainers on airplanes, and getting folks excited about airplanes again because of the high school and the 6 buildings that create the 7, including the 727, which will become a classroom in less than a year. It moves next week if the ground dries out, and it will be part of the future of our Aerospace Center for Excellence. So, the fly-in itself, here we go. Safety doesn't happen. It's not an accident. It happens because of what we do. Right now, we've had 2 years, no hits, no runs, no errors, no flight violations, no lawsuits, no issues, all men safe on deck at the end of the day. And I don't care what you call success on the front gate and how many dollars you bring in. Success is measured in everybody that came here goes home in the same way they came here, happy and content. And I call that success. And that's only based on the fact that each and every one of you does a professional job. You plan, you prepare, you execute, and at the end of the day, we call it a safe event, and it's a professionally executed event. So that's what we all expect each and every one of us to do. And there should be in everybody's back pocket during the fly-in the red flag. That's only a figure of speech, but if you see something that's not going right and you think that there's a chance for an incident to happen, you throw that red flag and let's just stop right there and let's reconfigure what we're doing and figure out, is this the right way to do it? And if not, let's change the way we're doing it and do it right. But don't stand by idly and go, boy, it sure looks like Harry's going to goon that one up. That is not the answer. And then after the event, go, I knew that was going to happen. That is not the way we do business. If you think it's not right, it's probably not. Let's stop, let's talk, let's ensure we got it going in the right direction. And then we'll have that safe, successful event. Professionals do it right, and it doesn't go wrong. Y'all done great. We've all done great over the last couple of years. Let's keep that rolling. Okay. Focus. I can't tell you the number of comments that we have gotten on the atmosphere at Sun and Fun. Wow, they're friendly, they're nice, they're helpful. That's the spirit of a true dedicated volunteer force. We're here for the customers, whether it be vendors, exhibitors, sponsors, performers, or those great men and women that walk through the gate or fly their airplanes in from Lord knows where. When they're here, they are our guests. And we should do everything we can to be friendly and helpful, show them the attention they need, make sure we know the event. If you don't know it, have it in your back pocket, answer the question. The t-shirts will have, once again, how may I help you? I hope you all have your buttons. I have mine. If you've got yours, please use it again. It saves the cost of reproducing them. If we have new volunteers, we'll get them new buttons. But let's use those again and keep the same philosophy going. Next one. This is the one, pride and professionalism. That's the piece that makes it happen. Doing our best with less. Over the last few years, we have been very successful in not changing the quality or the experience of the guest by finding ways to not spend all that money, but still do it good. Because of the way you've done it. Everybody here has helped. We get great ideas every day, and we take and use them. So your voice is being heard up front to figure out ways to keep the experience positive, but let's don't waste the money. We don't have it to waste to begin with. And right now, we've turned the corner, and we're showing a positive rate of climb as we're moving on into the future. The next one. So those are the basic ones I just talked about there, except for the last one down there. Anybody know what that is? What is that, Robin? All right. We do that. That was a Robin term. And because I will be the first to tell you that we have had some very heated discussions in our staff meetings. We have them once a week on a Tuesday. If you're so inclined to want to come sit in on one, please let us know. We'll make a chair for you. But we discuss all the issues, and the one thing that we have found at Sun and Fun is that everybody has a emotional investment. So they get emotionally charged. So when the discussion goes in a direction where someone may not want it to go, we get a lot of emotion in that. And that's a good thing. Quite candidly, I find it very entertaining. Listen to them. They're over there yakking now. The point is, they love Sun and Fun, and they've got a heart in it, and they want it to work. And so to keep things back on track, we came up with the term patience and kindness. If you're just patient, listen to the other person's idea, be kind, don't be rude. It may not be the idea you want to hear, but there's no reason to slam that person. It just says, listen, work it out, and move forward. Don't sit there and argue about it. That does no one any good. So we're asking that as part of a portfolio of personal attributes that you'd exhibit during the fly-in, add in that P and K. And we use it quite regularly. When somebody starts to get fired up, they go, let's see a little P and K out of you here. And they throttle down and they understand. The public appreciates you guys. You're the face. They don't see me very often. They don't see the staff. They see you are the face of Sun and Fun. So the way you act in front of those guests really determines the attitude of our guest group and how they see Sun and Fun. And y'all are doing a fabulous job, so please keep that going. Okay, next. The days. Each day we've named. Tuesday, 100th anniversary of commercial flight. We've asked a lot of vintage commercial aircraft to come in. Hopefully we'll have them here for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know, it all started with the Benoit over in Tampa, St. Pete to Tampa, that's right. Tony Janis flew the airplane. Kermit tried to fly it. We asked Kermit 2 days ago, hey Kermit, how'd that go for you? He goes, it was a lead sled in the lake. He said, I couldn't even get it on the step. It just plowed through it like a truck in the mud. So that airplane will not be here, but it's going to be at the fly-in. You know, the replica of the first commercial aircraft. It will be at the splash-in. The splash-in will have it. If he can fly it, he will, but most likely he'll just taxi it around, but you'll be on display. We're going to try to get the replica from the museum, the Florida Historical Society's museum in St. Pete, to borrow theirs to have out here along with our other commercial vintage aircraft. In a minute you'll see that the Tri-Motor is going to be here, and they'll be selling rides. That's a good thing, and several DC-3s, and hopefully a myriad of other ones. On Tuesday, on Wednesday, that's our Build a Brighter Future Day in Education. We have proposed, and that's the day the governor has got on his schedule to come, either Wednesday or Tuesday, but Wednesday is the preferred. In addition to having and that will be the day we recognize all of our free students that will come in, and we're trying to promote aviation as a career path. JetBlue, who's now a new supporter because of our Aerospace Center of Excellence, they just wrote us a check for $25,000 to use at the Central Florida Aerospace Academy for all the components we need for the power plant part of the A&P mechanics license. So we'll be the only one of 5 high schools in the nation where a high school student can get all the requirements up to, but not necessarily through, the practical work, but all the testing for an A&P license. And then all that student has to do is finish off those 700 hours of practical work to be able to be certified as an A&P. But they can get all of the accredited requirements done prior to leaving high school. The cost to them, $0. That's pretty awesome. And that's JetBlue is now investing in us. They will fly a jet in on that day, on Wednesday, and they will have students from New York City, They're coming down. It's cold. They want warm air. They're coming down, and they're going to have some of our CFAA students be on the airplane as well, and they'll come over and spend the day here on Wednesday. On Thursday, that's your day. We're recognizing the fact that Sun and Fun is based on volunteerism, and we've got a myriad of experiences that day that are going to recognize them. Obviously, we have the Pioneer Luncheon. We'll have an event in the afternoon for pinning, and we have throughout the day there will be several recognition events recognizing the great volunteers that have been here for a majority of those 40 years, if not all 40. And I think you're going to talk to that one as well, Robin, yes. Thursday, and then we've got Friday, 100th anniversary of aerial combat. We have reached out to Warbirds of America and to the independently owned warbirds, and we're trying to bring them back. We were able to convince the Warbirds of America to have a special board meeting just about Sun and Fun, because we are promoting that we want them to return, regardless of what interest every individual aviator has, whether it be home build or experimental or seaplanes or general aviation or vintage. Everybody wants to walk by and look at the warbirds. It's part of our history. You know, it was air war power. It was, you know, it's part and parcel of the military of the United States military Department of Defense. So everybody wants to look at them. And we've, as you all well know, that footprint out there on the warbird ramp in 523 is just kind of shrank down. And we've now put a concerted effort in to bring them back, to the point that Warbirds of America are considering seriously. They said they really want to do this. They want to name the warbird ramp Warbirds of America Warbird Country and help us build that back. So we're thrilled about that one. Those days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will recognize the 100th anniversary of aerial combat. Saturday, that celebrates our 40th. That will be our birthday day. It will culminate in a big air show on the afternoon, but that night will be the fireworks and a night show. But we will recognize two major players in Sun and Fun's history. One's going to be Paul Poberesny, who helped us, who's gone and gone west, but Billy Henderson. I don't think Billy's here. I don't see him back there. Billy was a major player in the early days of Sun and Fun, and it was because of his leadership that it kept going and built the speed and stamina to maintain out speed and angels and keep us going forward. So we'll recognize those folks along with a lot of the leaders in Sun and Fun's history, and that will be our 40th birthday day. And then Sunday is our Florida Residents Day. We're going to try to bring in as many folks as we can on a lower rate, and if you buy Saturday, you get Sunday free, get more folks out here on Sunday. As you well know, Sunday is somewhat of a slow day, but because we've got the blues, hopefully that'll help improve our traffic on Sunday, but we want more people out here. Okay, if you switch to the air show slide here. These are the air show days and the hours. Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 to 6. That'll be a standard air show. We'll try to highlight in the flyby pattern a lot of the vintage commercial airliners. Thursday is a tough day for us. When you get a jet team, they now require that Thursday is an arrival, setup, pseudo practice day, and they pretty much tell us what they're going to do, and we got to do it. That's not a bad thing. It's just we got to work around it. But they close the field at noon, and they will be here noon to 2, fly in, do some circle arrival procedures, then they'll land, be down for an hour, which will allow airplanes to come and go from 2 to 3, and then from 3 to 4, they're going to jump back into the air, and they do a lot of practice maneuvers. They land at 4, and then from 4 to 6, we'll have an air show. So the real air show is going to be 4 to 6 on Thursday. The rest of us just trying to get folks in and out and then give them time to get set up and do their practice. That's just the nature of the beast on Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Blues have to fly from 4 to 5. That's the latest they'll fly. So everything gets moved up from that. So to get all of the performers that want to participate at Sun and Fun, and remember, they do this for free, but this is to kick off their season and get them exposure. We have to start at 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So we got 3 hours of air show, and then we go into the Blue Angels, and then they get 30 minutes of downtime, and then we start launching airplanes again. The sun goes down about 8, so we get about 2.5 hours to launch and recover folks after the air show. All those times when it says it starts at 3, starts at noon or 1, That's the time the field closes, just like we did before. We will close the field at that moment, not before, not 5 minutes before. If it's not on that time, it will be later, not early. That's to facilitate folks getting in and getting out of here. Okay, next. You had the air show. Fireworks are on Saturday night. You got that? Okay. Tri-Motor's coming all day. Be here Monday all the way through Sunday selling rides. It'll actually stay all the way to the end of the following week, because the weekend after Sun and Fun, we have the largest ice cream festival in Florida. I think we're a little crazy, but we're doing it. It'll bring between 30 and 40,000 people. This is the second year they've done it. Magnify Bank did it last year at Tiger Town. They couldn't handle the crowd. They're coming here. So we're thrilled about that. There'll be a $5 parking charge, and then the event is going to be $1 to get in. But that's the weekend afterwards. We will have, that week, the Tri-Motor will be here, and they will be selling rides, and then that weekend they'll do it, and then they'll leave again. The B-17, I just negotiated with them to bring it in. They'll be here all week long as well, and they'll be selling rides, which will be positive because there's a lot of activity out there on the Warbird ramp as it moves back and forth. So that's a plus. The Helldiver as well. The Heritage helicopters, those were a huge hit last year. There was a line on those all day long. Phenomenal ride. The Texan will be back, and of course, Steve Oliver's new Standard will be flying as well. For the Tri-Motor, this is kind of neat. Our CFAA students will be the marshalers for the Tri-Motor. They're involved. The young students are really excited about this, so they'll be out there getting guests to and from the airplane and making sure people stay clear of the prop and clearing the area for the airplane to move. All right. A couple of updates. The reenactors are moving from the south side of the Warbird ramp over to the east or the west side, on the other side of the ditch between Foxtrot and the ditch. They liked it so much they decided to come back and be in larger groups. So that's going to be an entranceway as the people walk from the main core area over into the Warbird area. They're going to see an encampment of World War II reenactors. I think that's pretty cool. It sort of sets the stage. East Commercial Gate, that's the one that's right here. The one that sits right out the FAA to your right in front of the Seaplane Pilots Association. That gate, if you notice, is gone. It's just got some temporary. That gate broke. We're going to set that up so it'll be a pedestrian gate again. You all remember years in the past it was, and then we closed it. It was only to move aircraft. Now will be available to move foot traffic in and out. The reason for that is because we're trying to get pedestrians in the core area and golf carts and cars on that little road that goes just to the west of Vintage and to the east of the Seaplane Pilots Association. And that's it says, it's not up there, but you'll see it in a minute. It's a road that goes around Shower House A. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah. Is there a pointer up here? There probably isn't. I don't think so. Anyway, it's the road that goes between Vintage and the Seaplane, and it goes south around south of Shower House A. Can I do that? Let's see. Let's see if we got something here. Is there anything that moves up there? No. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Right there. This road right there. That road is going to take you down around Shower House A and back out. If you look at that area right there, remember that road? That road is not going to be there for this year's event. Pedestrians, yes. Golf carts and vehicles, negative, Ghost Rider, because we have sold this whole section to an exhibitor. And you'll get into this later, but we are expanding the number of exhibitor spots this year. More people want to come. That's a good sign. But pedestrians are going to be asked to walk through here. Not that they can't come down through here. That's perfectly legit. But the area right through there to lead them from the Warbird ramp, can you either go across this exit or this one? It'll be open to the public to walk. That's a good thing. That's a positive piece. Okay. Go back, please. Choppertown is still Choppertown. I met with Jack and those guys, and it's going to be fine out there all the way to the southeastern corner. It's not moving, but it'll be for transient. You won't do helicopter operations out there regularly for display. Those display aircraft that are rotorcraft or light helicopters will operate off of Paradise City like they did last year. And it seemed to work. There's some things we've got to work out on it, but it primarily worked good enough. We're going to repeat that effort. The construction, the big construction, how many people have gone out and seen what's going on out there at the Echo Hangar Echo Taxiway. Anybody seen that? No, you haven't. Okay, it's huge. The airport is building one gigantic, magnificent taxiway that's going to be, if you can go back to yeah, it's right here. Right, here's the old taxiway right there. That'll still be there, but the new one, which they'll be building right now, is going to go from here all the way down to here. The good news is they put in new power for us all along here, all along right up here for Donna France's GA team, and the yellow lot is being leveled, smoothed, and we all new grass. So that's going to be a really nice area, and the taxiway will be there. We won't use that this year per se for all the performers. Remember, in years past, performers would come down through here, and we'd put them back here, correct? All the performers are going to be on the north side. They're all up here in hangars in this area over here. So when the day is over with, they get done here, they'll taxi up, they'll go across and park, morning they'll come back. But this taxiway that'll be here will only be used for the folks in the FMS, the big aircraft repair work. If they have to move an aircraft, which should be very minimal, they'll use that. So that's basically it's going to be for us to use whenever we want. And so the parking around it will not be impinged by movement of aircraft, which is a good thing. All right, let's see. Go back, please. RC runway. Everybody know Frank Tiano and the RC aircraft that operate off Paradise City? That really nice strip of grass that was out there? Okay, that's yesterday's news. The airport with Frank has built a brand new hard surface. I think it is, Brett, 700 feet long by 60 feet wide, something like that. Paved runway in the middle of our parking lot. Doesn't hurt us. We can drive over it, park around it, whatever we want to do, but we no longer have to worry about the grass that was out by the Paradise City, because that is now no longer going to be used by Frank and his RC guys after the show and the rest of the year. He will actually operate out of our parking lot, which works for everybody. We're thrilled about it, and he gives us actually a hard surface out there. We may consider using that as a turnaround point for pickup for guests that want to ride the tram back and forth from the parking lot area. So that's all good. By the way, when we finish Sun and Fun this year, Paradise City runway, the construction starts. Are you going to cover this, Brett? All right. The construction starts, and that goes from 1,400 feet to about 2,000 to 2,100 feet. They're going to extend it west into our parking lot. It will not affect our parking because that area has typically been closed for Paradise City as an overrun area, but now it will be a true overrun area because it'll be a flat grass surface that will be a real 2,000-foot long grass strip. For the fly-in 2015, we will do a displaced threshold for coming into land if you're headed eastbound, so we can still park around it. All right, so it doesn't affect our parking, but it's a great addition to the Sun and Fun year-round activities. We will actually, once that's done, we will have the ability to put on events on a grass strip here at Lakeland Linder throughout the year. It's a huge plus-up. We plan on putting a student youth clubhouse out the far eastern end of that, and it'll house aircraft that the students are building, and they will fly out of there regularly. This is a real positive plus-up. All right, I got all of that. Next. Oh, there won't be an aircraft auction. We're not auctioning anything off this time. We're pretty good in that regard. We got everything right where we want it. We're keeping exactly what we got. The Veterans Plazas in the southeast exhibit area, that area is sort of opened up because there's Paradise City is so vibrant. Everybody moved down there. That's where the excitement is. So they're all down there. So what we're going to do this year, we're going to have Veterans Plaza out there in the southeast, and on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to open up that area to a vintage car show. Saturday and Sunday only. You're going to be authorized. Anybody that has a car that's older than 1980, you and a guest can come in for free, park your car. It has to be on the lot prior to 9. 9 o'clock we close the gates because we have pedestrians walking in. You cannot leave until after the air show's over with at 5:30, then you can drive out. But you're welcome to bring your car, park it, you can sit by it, enjoy the show, whatever you want to do, but we're trying to fill that area up because all the people that were in there moved to Paradise City, and as you walk in, it kind of leaves a void. So when our walk-in traffic, which happens on Saturday, Sundays here, we're going to provide them with something to look at, and those will be vintage cars. So we're looking forward to hopefully having maybe 100 or so of those parked out there, and people can enjoy that as part of their experience at Sun and Fun. I talked about the no golf carts and vehicles between Shower House A and the seaplane pilots, because you can't get through there. It is a exhibitors area. It'll be coned off. You have to go around the south end, but that will also facilitate people using our really nice golf cart paths. This year we're doing the same thing we've done for the last two. Please help us manage car and golf cart traffic in the core area from 9 o'clock in the morning till the end of the show, whatever day it is. That's to help all the exhibitors and the guests enjoy an experience without the fear of being hit or run over. So please help us with that. Laura and I are going to sit down and we're reviewing all the passes. There will be a lesser number of purple passes handed out. You'll be able to get to your area, but you can't just drive randomly all around the campus. The goal is this is a pedestrian-friendly experience, and we want it to be that way. Non-smoking, we're still pushing. We're designating it a little more clearly. We'd like your help. Smoking is still okay in the campground. We just want it when they're in the core area, we have them in designated areas. We have to define it better. We've got seating. Please help us get them there. Next. And I think that's my part of it. And the next part right there, I'll come up and take questions at the end, so don't worry about that. But let's move right on into Kieran, you're up, and then everybody will introduce the next person after that. Thank you, and here we go.
Hello again. Thank you, Lights. I just want to say, you know, part of the success of the show, and the show is all about, number one, safety, is relationships. And we enjoy a very productive, good relationship with Sun and Fun and with the airport and the people at the school, and that makes things work. So I also wanted to say Doug Murphy, our regional administrator, planned to be here today, but there was this little snowstorm in Atlanta. So he is not able to be here, but he did want me to welcome you. He will be at the next meeting. I don't think we could have a better ambassador for Sun and Fun than Doug Murphy has been. And so that's awesome. But right now I want to introduce my boss, Diana Fromm. Diana Fromm is the manager of the Orlando FSDO, and she's also now the manager of this building. So.
Lucky girl. Yeah, it just keeps on getting better. On behalf of Doug, I know he was really wanting to be here. He's a great supporter of this event, this facility, and certainly believes, like I do, that, you know, aviation safety isn't a spectator sport. You know, we all have to play our part, and that means every one of you, you know, as Light said, if you see something that's a little sideways, you know, step in, say something. You know, that's kind of what we're here for. We'll have this year our full complement of FAA people. It was a very, what's that word?
I can't say it.
Oh. What's that other word? Okay. It was a very active conversation, challenging. It was a very challenging conversation, spirited conversation that we've been having for several weeks on our budget. As you know, the last few years, the entire government has been kind of crazy with budgets, and, you know, not getting our budget allocation at the beginning of the fiscal year and things like that. Well, you know, that has actually kind of resolved itself for this year. So we realigned ourselves. You know that we used to have the FAA safety team, the FAASTeam. That organization has basically been transitioned back into the FSDOs, so that's why I have Karen as a supervisor in the FSDO, and the FAASTeam members and all that whole cadre that used to be here and in Orlando now is in the FSDO now. So, you know, we can address this and be very efficient like everybody needs to be, and we can still do our job and provide the services that we're used to doing. And I have been a very active supporter of Sun and Fun since I've been here, because I see from a regulatory perspective, you know, when people come here and they got issues with their certificates, they got issues with their aircraft, I got a whole group of people that are just more than willing to give up their time and get those people right, so that we have safe people transitioning through the airspace, which is really, really important for all of us. You know, it keeps people, even if you don't fly, like I'm not a pilot, I'm a mechanic, but even if you don't fly, you don't want someone's airplane falling into your house. It just makes people upset. So we like them when they leave Sun and Fun to, you know, if they came here with problems, we make sure they go back without those same problems. And it's important for me to have the FSDO inspectors here that can, you know, issue the amendments to certificates and look at their paperwork. And we're going to be able to do that again this year. I'm very, very happy that we're going to bring that back to Sun and Fun, because I think it's one of the things that kind of helps the FAA and the Sun and Fun relationship kind of stand apart from some of the other larger General Aviation air shows. So, you know, we're going to have our air show monitor team, we're going to have our Sun and Fun team, and then we're going to have the safety, the FSDO safety team here this year as well. So it was kicking, biting, and screaming, and, you know, I don't know who got afraid of who worse, but, you know, all I know is I got the budget I wanted, and we're going to be here right with you the whole damn event this time. But, thank you very much.
Thank you, Di. Diane is seriously a big supporter and in our court with all this. A couple little things I want to tell you. Flight Service Station, as of this point, won't be here like they've been well, they weren't here last year, but they won't be having their presence here where you come get a briefing. They will, however, be a booth in here in the exhibit area with Flight Service. Because they have a lot of new things coming up. A lot of people are getting their briefings on their phones and everything right now. So this facility will be set up as basically the FSDO. So that front area up there will be the FSDO area, and then we'll have some back offices and you know, all that stuff. So I just want to let you know that building will be open as always. We will have the exhibits. I think right now, as of yesterday, I think we had 6 signed up. Which is more than we had last year and less than we've had in the past, but you know, we're getting there. Couple big things that are going on FAA-wise and otherwise is Friday, of course, is Meet the FAA Day with the administrator. The administrator will be here, as will be the deputy administrator. So that's the first time we've had both of them here. And with them comes all the people from Washington that come, you know, so they'll be here. So for Meet the FAA Day, that's important. We have a new director, John Duncan. I expect to see him here. Even more exciting for us is the Master Pilot Charles Taylor Award will be this Friday, or will be that Friday. And we have some very unique people receiving that award. Anyone remember Randy Babbitt? FAA Administrator will be receiving the award. For the Master Pilot. And also we have a few Tuskegee and WASPs. And one of the WASPs is a 91-year-old woman who is currently flying. She does aerobatics. So that's pretty unique. I've done a lot of these Master Pilot Charles Taylor things, and I have not seen a lineup like that. So we're excited about that. This meeting is being filmed and we will put it on YouTube for all the volunteers that are not here. And I believe R2D2 is coordinating with Melissa to get that link on the Sun and Fun website. So any of the other volunteers that aren't here, we can get that information to them. Is the temperature getting a little better for you guys? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I am going to turn this over to the other person besides Laura Vaughn who will tell Wayne Boggs no. And this is Larry Enlow. Larry has worked this show, and you know, with the IIC team and the FSDO team for years, and he is a consummate professional. And you've seen him here for years, so I'm going to turn it over to Larry.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. Wayne Boggs and I get along great.
I know that.
I mean, behind that huge, burly, is that what it is? You know, Wayne's a good guy. He does a superb job. And we're just really happy to be back for the 40th anniversary of Sun and Fun. We've been very fortunate to be doing this for so many years. And the relationship that the FAA and all the Sun and Fun personnel have is just tremendous. So this is a great place to be. It's a wonderful assignment for all of us in the FAA. It's particularly important this year in that, as Diana alluded to, there have been a variety of funding issues over the past few years, and as some of you may recall, last year we were unable to operate our temporary Flight Standards District office here. We only had a very small core team of inspectors here to do the absolutely essential items. But this year, quite frankly, because of Diana's efforts and Karen's efforts, they have convinced our folks in regional and Washington locations to provide the funding such that we can provide full service for Sun and Fun this year. We'll be located up front in our standard location that we have enjoyed for many years, with a full complement of inspectors to provide full Flight Standards District office services. We're excited about that because that's the whole function of being here, providing service to the public, and of course assuring safety for the event. So we're glad to be back, and we're looking forward to a safe and successful 40th anniversary of Sun and Fun. Thank you.
Okay, that's pretty much all I have, except for one little note. You know, being from Alaska as I am, to my friends who are not Bronco fans, that are Seahawk fans, I wish a good game for everyone, but I am not Switzerland in this game. I am not neutral. Go Broncos! And with that, I bring on Brett Fay from the airport.
Well, thank you, and welcome back to the Lakeland Airport. It's been another busy year for us here at the airport, and if you've been out there on the airfield, you've seen there's quite a bit of construction that's going on, and that's one of the things I want to do is cover kind of where we're at with our projects right now, hopefully put everybody's mind at ease moving forward towards the event. Also talk about airfield access and our security procedures for this year, which shouldn't be too much different from what we've done just in the recent years past. So, slide please. This here, first on the list, is our fire station number 7, and this is going to be a great addition to the airport. It's going to provide fire services to the community as well as crash and rescue services to the airport as well. This is a view of the station looking north, and they actually just started putting the walls up this past week. So it's coming right along. We're excited about that, and it's going to be a great addition to our airport as well as Sun and Fun, and it should be fully active and operational come Sun and Fun 2015 next year. Slide. So runway 927 rehab, I know a lot of folks have expressed some concern about this. We're coming right along with the runway. If you've noticed, we're operating with the displaced threshold right now. We had to get in there to do correct some ponding issues in the intersection of the runway, as well as the westerly 2,500 feet had reached the end of its useful life. So we've got about 5 to 10 more days of paving operations out there, and should be complete. Got a good week of weather coming up, so we're excited about that. Next slide, please. And taxiway Echo 1 construction. Lights touched briefly on this. This is a pretty good photo of what's got the work going on down there. Everything in blue is going to be piped. So as he alluded to, it's going to be a much more useful space down there. It'll all be sodded, compacted, rolled, and it's going to be in great condition come the fly-in. We're very confident of that. We're actually contemplating whether pending, we'll try to do a site visit down there today after the Air Ops meeting. We'll get as many folks down there as we possibly can. If you have a need to see the area or just interested to see the construction, we're going to try to get everybody down there to see that. Next slide. This here is a view. Right there to the right is about where Donna's trailer typically sits. And you can see they've got partial portion of that ditch that's piped right now, and the whole thing is going to be piped and brought up to grade. So you can see how much more usable. I mean, you couldn't even walk across these large ditches in the past. So we're really excited about what that means for this area moving forward in the future. Next slide. And this gives you an overall view of the significance of this project. There's quite a bit of earthwork that's involved there, and everything that's been touched, everything that's been exposed to the dirt there is going to get fresh sod. They're already starting to put some areas of sod down. So that means it should be in really good shape, especially if we continue to get all this rain that we've got in the past week. So, next slide. This is the one that I'm really excited about. This is actually, we're getting to unveil this to you folks, are the first ones that are getting the opportunity to see this. This is our initial design rendering of the brand new air traffic control tower that's going to be at the Lakeland Airport here, hopefully in the very near future. It's going to be 147 feet tall. It'll be located on the north side over by the City T hangars. And as you can see, it's going to be quite an addition to this airport and the skyline of Lakeland as a whole at 147 feet. That's pretty impressive. Next slide. All right, so airfield access. There are two key dates that you've got to remember. Friday the 21st is the date that we're going to shut runway 523 down. That's the day you can get out there and do what you folks need to do. Everywhere in the green area there is going to go non-movement on the 21st. Now, with that said, you'll have to have a badge up until March 28th. Now, on March 28th through April 7th, the security procedures go in effect. You won't have to have a badge or be escorted down there. One of the other things that I wanted to point out from a security standpoint, it was brought up to me at our last ERT meeting by Sergeant Chad Mumbauer, and kind of piggyback on a common theme that a lot of folks have brought up is if you see something, say something. And we depend on all you folks to make Sun and Fun one of the safest possible events that we can have. And you guys do a heck of a job doing that. So we depend on you. If you see something, please report it to an officer in uniform. Bring it to airport operations. We'll make sure that information gets to the right folks. So once again, please, if you see something, say something. I will be at the Air Ops meeting after this. Like I said, we'll provide more information on badging, some additional information. We have handouts for everybody if you need one. Have any questions about any of this stuff, feel free to track me down after the meeting. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions, and my operations staff more than capable of answering any questions that you may have. So once again, thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about what's going on here at the airport, and look forward to seeing everybody again in April. So thank you.
Hello, welcome back. We miss you when you're gone. Glad to see you all. Okay, the audit is done, and I just want to give you a quick rundown of where we are. Our total revenue for last year was right at $6.1 million. Our expenses were right at 5.8. I gotta put my glasses on. And our net income was about $278,000. Most of that was put into paying down the debt and doing some major repairs that we definitely needed. Our goal here is to be out of debt by the year 2018. The track we're on right now, that's where we'll be. That will give us more money to invest in our education programs, museum exhibits, and to update the property we already have, put new roofs on and the things we need to do. Okay, so where does our money come from? Go back. Oh, go back one. Okay, so still, to show you how important the fly-in is, 87% of our revenue is generated during the fly-in. Go to the next one. That 87% is divided up into 32% comes from the gate traffic. You would think that would be our biggest one, but actually right now, last year, exhibits was our biggest money. They pay to come here and exhibit. This year, we're hoping our admissions is our highest number. Of course, there's some sponsors, camping, some other things, and donations. And of course, to make money, we have to spend some money. So go to the next one. These are just some of our top fly-in expenses. Some of our biggest one is our equipment rental. We rent portalets, courtesy cars, shower houses, light towers, oh my goodness, tents, chairs, tables, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. That is one of our biggest expenses that we have. So, how can you help us out? First of all, invite your friends to come to the show. You are here, you know how awesome this is. Invite people to come and enjoy the Blue Angels and all that we do, all that we put on here. To be telling everybody about it this year and get our gate traffic up for us. Hold down cost in your area any way you see to improve an area, to hold down the cost. We greatly appreciate that. Don't forget, if you do need to make a purchase for your area, you still need a purchase order, just like in past years. Either Laura or Don or myself can help you get that purchase order and help you know how much you can spend in your area. Last one, make a donation. Don't forget, we are a 501c3 organization. You may be able to take a tax deduction for any donation you make to this organization. Our last thing, some new financial news. Everyone here needs to be praying for the registration team this year because we have put in a new point of sale system, and whenever you do something new, there's always challenges. So Jane, we're praying for you back there. You're going to have a fun year. Camper registration, you're going to have a great year, but we think it's going to be get our guests in faster, and it does all our online ticket sales for us. It's just going to be a great asset for the company. So, okay, thank you so much. Oh, next is Mr. Greg Gibson.
Well, good morning, everyone. How's everybody today? All right, that's a pretty enthusiastic group, but I think you can do better. How is everyone doing today? All right, pretty good. Now, you know what I see? One of the things that I'm responsible for Sun and Fun is to assess, analyze, the marketing and the value of the things that we have going on here from one end to the other, and that essentially becomes the museum or educational programs all the way through into the powerhouse, which is the fly-in, and observing how all those things can work together, create some sort of an environment that makes people want to invest in it. Now, part of my job is to observe how the people that are part of that really react. So right now, when everybody's been sitting in these chairs for a while, one of the things I observe is a lot of this and a little bit of thing going on, a little bit of shifting and fidgeting. So I want to make the offer right now that anyone who's a little bit uncomfortable, feel like they need a little seventh inning stretch, go ahead. So you stand up, if you feel like moving around a little bit, that'll be okay. You won't offend me. So going forward, I want to thank you all for allowing me to come in here. I have a background, as Lights mentioned, in aviation all throughout, mostly the air show business, close to 150 plus air shows I've been actively involved in from an organization or participation standpoint, notably with the air show, aerobatic team, air shows themselves all over North and Central America. One of the things that I'm intimately familiar with is how the show itself can interact with the business end of it, how, for example, AC 8900.1, really affects the overall ability for the marketing entities to come out to the show and participate. Performer support, things of that nature. So my background is essentially trying to figure out how to take all of those assets, leverage them into something that can be sellable while at the same time, revving up the value of the show for all participants. And that kind of goes to an internal statement, I guess, we're working with around here. We're 40 years old, and we're brand new. We have just such an opportunity for the next 40 years through all the things that have come about over the last several years to really take this event and turn it into even a higher level world-class event than it had been for the last 40 years. The overall footprint of Sun and Fun has remained a constantly moving thing, and as I take and look at, again, the educational side of things now that are being added to this wonderful spring break for pilots that we do have, we get the opportunity to really marry the two in such a way that starts to make a lot of value, as Lights mentioned, towards some of the higher power folks that might not have an interest in the fly-in, but they certainly have an interest in producing their next employees, their next clients, their next stockholders, and that's exactly what we're going to go after and create for them. Everyone here that's not a Sun and Fun staff member is our customer. You as our volunteers are our #1 customer. We want to make certain that you all are happy and know how much you're appreciated. You have it's the #1 selling feature that I've got when I go out into the marketplace and start talking about why they should get involved in Sun and Fun, and that is you. Everyone that comes here to make this event happen, we understand how critical you are and how your participation really makes this event what it is, and it's such a wonderful selling feature. It's such an easy thing to get into with people because in a lot of events that hasn't been the case. What's your volunteer corps like? Well, we'll see. We don't have that problem here. And you all are to be congratulated for everything that you do and have done for the last 40 years. It gives us such a wonderful launch pad for the next phase of how Sun and Fun is going to be presented. To that, into the exhibitors, I'm going to be presenting for our wonderful exhibits manager, Bonnie Perkins. She's not here today, but she's got some fantastic news for us. Last year at this time, there were 410 exhibitors on the books and 605 spaces sold. This year, we have 410 exhibitors, exactly, as of her departure on Wednesday, I think, and then have got 605 last year, 610 spaces sold. So same number of exhibitors, more space. So what that tells us is that they're expanding a little bit. Notably, AOPA in particular is an example of this. They have almost doubled their footprint on the campus. They'll be moving from down near Hangar A to closer to this building, right out here in the parking lot just to the west. So that's an example of how we're starting to really reach out and look at and analyze how each of our exhibitors, how each of our sponsors, you know, the interaction that they can have throughout the show, trying to build on their experience because, as I mentioned, they're also a customer. Anyone that has an investment in Sun and Fun, if you come in here as an exhibitor, a volunteer, a sponsor, and certainly someone who comes through the gate to enjoy the show, we want to make certain that your investment in Sun and Fun is something that makes you leave here saying, that was a fantastic experience, I'm coming back, and I'm bringing somebody with me. That's exactly what we're trying to produce from every single person that has an investment in Sun and Fun. So it's a real easy thread. It's something we're on stage saying to folks, and we're certainly soliciting your assistance in making that experience very valuable. Let's see. From the Aerospace Center for Excellence that Lights mentioned, we have a great opportunity now to begin to tie that in to sponsorship and the marketing opportunity. And for those of you who don't get into marketing so much, marketing's not sales. Marketing's the opportunity to generate sales. It's a visibility proposition. How do you get people to look at you and understand that that's something there that they need to be participating in, whether that's coming in through the gate, whether it's buying an exhibit, getting into sponsors, into sponsorships, all those things are marketing. The sale happens when that has attracted them to the sale. So what we're starting to do is create a couple of new things that I want to tell you about that are beginning to work in our advantage. Through Robin's efforts, as Lights mentioned a little while ago, we now have a wonderful relationship cranked up that we expect to see launched in 2014 with Camping World. We have just a fantastic opportunity here. They're going to essentially come into the campground. They are looking at, and we should ink this next week, but they're looking at taking over half of Hangar E and becoming putting their entire camp store in there. So it'll literally be an on-site camp store to support the campers. And we even have a vision to expand that further, hopefully, as this year goes well. We'd like to see that become something more of a year-round event. So look for a very large presence with Camping World. They'll be providing some of our operations trailers, a few other things that we've discussed. And again, we're waiting for the finalization of all that for next week. But Camping World is one that will really give us a very well-known national brand that will, and it helps that it's a non-aviation brand to be able to validate what we do here. And that's a very important concept when you start talking about sponsorship. When you have people that are notable and have a good footprint in the marketplace, whether it's aviation or not, when they activate with you, that makes it easier for someone else to do that. To that point, we also have Bose is looking at expanding their presence here with us, and this is in the face of having 2 years in a row where they did not do very well. Now we all know the reasons for that. Between having a tornado in 2011, 2012 was a softer year, 2013 was a soft year for them. They're coming back because they believe in Sun and Fun and because they believe in the event here. They're actually going to be expanding their presence. One of the things that we're in final negotiations for is a naming of now what will be called Bose Plaza. Those of you that go to Oshkosh know they've had that famous marker there, that square that now has been renamed, but it'll forever and always be Aeroshell Square as far as I know, but ConocoPhillips has got it now. I have a hard time even saying that. It's too many syllables. But this is something that we've really keyed on in looking at our campus and saying, having a navigational marker here for people to say, well, I'm 200 yards north of Bose Plaza, in Hangar B, or I'm a little bit to the east of Bose Plaza. Come meet me over by such and such exhibit. You've got these mental markers around the campus. Led us to a couple of other conversations that now we have Warbird Country coming in that the EAA Warbirds of America will be sponsoring. And so look for the map to begin to exhibit things like that. Camping World is very interested in having the camping area called Camping World. So those things become marketable items for us as Sun and Fun, we have very little cost in creating those sponsorship opportunities. So you get a nice double whammy in that they get a tremendous visibility, but to Tracy's point, our cost and fulfillment goes down. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to analyze from a business perspective is what kind of assets do we have here that we can leverage without breaking the bank to fulfill. So any suggestions that any of you may have in your respective areas to that point, if you can think of things, my door's open. Please come visit me over here and let's talk about it, because we have an excellent opportunity to start to get really smart about how we present ourselves and our assets for sponsorship and various opportunities like that. Another notable discussion that's going on right now that we expect will happen, Tampa International Airport. We'll be doing some advertising on the baggage claim belts. In conjunction with that, I'm also having discussions with Super Shuttle to provide some transportation opportunities back and forth between the respective airports, both Tampa International and over at Orlando. And some of the advertising opportunities there on the jackets that go on every traveler's voucher that go out, all the tickets that they hand you at the ticket counter. Super Shuttle has an ad on there, so that's something that we like. As a matter of fact, you may not even know that. We just started talking about that yesterday. So we have a fantastic opportunity there that's coming forward, and a lot of that's just strategic placement for marketing purposes. It'll be in kind, not any cash changing hands, but tremendous amount of opportunity for advertising that we wouldn't, we don't have to pay for. Another very interesting one that we've got going on, we've have a commitment from Experience Kissimmee. We're expanding beyond our own borders, and of course we absolutely love Polk County. We really value their partnership, and the tourism folks here have done a wonderful job promoting us. And what we're looking at here is now for the opportunities both in Hillsborough, as I mentioned, with the airport and Super Shuttle, and now Experience Kissimmee and that group over to our east. Now we get to get their budgets to help bring people here for Polk County's tourism to start marketing to. So it's a wonderful opportunity for both to be able to activate, and also we get a better opportunity to take advantage of that rat over there at Mickey Mouse that takes all my money every year. Get some back from him maybe. Humana is another group, again, just to bring in a large brand. That's one we're having a discussion with. Things should begin to develop here next week. We have had several meetings that are starting to go quite well. And I'm telling you, a lot of these things are in development. Expect them to go through, and I'm kind of on stage putting them in front of you folks, and now I got to make sure they happen. But we feel really good about it, and it looks like we'll have another major brand, on the campus that'll begin to validate what we do here at Sun and Fun. Some I guess one of the things that I've tried to do, again, is to create opportunities that do not have tremendous expense and fulfillment. And also to create, again, trying to create a brand around what we do here that can capitalize on that, 87% of the funds that come from Sun and Fun while expanding the non-fly-in revenue opportunities. So we want that 87% to shrink, but we don't want we want the dollars to go up, but the percentage to shrink, because we're beginning to get opportunities outside of that number. So doing that, we've created a couple of things. One of them is called Project Stratus, and this goes directly back to the education side of the camp. Students from CFAA are participating right now in an essay contest, and all this is, you have to put a name on something for people to identify with it. Project Stratus is a way for us to roll out all of the merits of the educational processes we do here at Sun and Fun, both during the fly-in and year-round, and placed a name on it, placed a participation into it that will now showcase the students that are getting the benefit from it. The winners of that essay contest, there'll be 10 of them, they will come out and be Sun and Fun ambassadors, and they'll be visible all over the campus all during the week, and they'll be activating with different sponsors. There are sponsorships available through all of this that different sponsors can sponsor the kids and their essays. Their essays are going to appear in the program guide. Each essay, of course, is sponsorable, as is that student. The student will spend time in their booths. The students will go around, and in all of the activities we have, they will be the ambassadors from CFAA representing the Aerospace Center for Excellence. So putting a face on it, rolling it out in front of the population that will be here is a very critical element. Supporting that initiative is also a banner event. We're looking for this to be one of Sun and Fun's signature events going forward, and we're calling it the Dinner with Legends. On Wednesday night, the 2nd, we have some of aviation's most notable people stepping right out of the history books. We have Buzz Aldrin is scheduled to appear. Dick Rutan is also scheduled. Colonel Bud Anderson, Colonel Charlie McGee, several members of the WASP, we have a fantastic lineup of these folks that are going to come in and be honored at this dinner. Now, this is a top shelf event. It's very, I will call it intimate. There's only, compared to other events like this, there's only about 210 seats that are going to be available. And we're targeting very specifically our existing sponsor base, our existing exhibitor base, trying again to get the value of the education side of Sun and Fun very clearly exhibited. So look for the announcements coming out in that. We're about to roll it out next week, and you'll see it's going to go pretty quickly. If any of you have any interest in attending, you can see me. There is a, again, it's quite the premium event, and we're looking forward to quite a return out of that. So it'll be an excellent feather in Sun and Fun's cap. It really elevates the things that we do here on par with a lot of things similar to them, like the Living Legends of Aviation or the Gathering of Eagles that's held up at Oshkosh. This is something Sun and Fun can own and have as its signature event in years forward. Just a note here: JetBlue will be providing the airfare for the for the Legends that are expected to attend, those that will need it, and that was a significant evidence of their partnership with us that Lights mentioned earlier. One other thing we're going to be doing, again, trying to keep our opportunities going across. We partnered with Nikon to create a photo pit. Amateur photographers, those of you who have friends that have got $10,000 worth of equipment they haul out here hoping they get a picture of an airplane, we're going to have a special location for them, and essentially it'll be a dedicated area, preferred seating, if you will, specifically for amateur photographers. Now, this is not credentialed media. These are just enthusiast people that would like to have a place without a fence in front of them that will be able to allow them to get a great shot of the airplane in their own environment. I've witnessed a number of these around the country as they've happened, and these things are sold out. You've got guys in there with camera lenses this long that are using each other as tripods, and it's kind of comical for those of us that don't get it. But those that do, it's a real community that we would like to offer an opportunity to, and that's going to work out quite well. Let's see. All right, I think that's about all I've got here. We certainly are very appreciative. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for the warm welcome that I've had here. Understand very clearly, the volunteers are Sun and Fun, and we certainly appreciate all of your activities and involvement and welcome your input, and we just couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much. Up next is Miss Sandy Bridges.
Thank you. Yep. I knew
Sandy
I was
Bridges.
unstable. Thank you. My husband's in the back panicking someplace, I'm sure. But one more thing about JetBlue before I start is that they really have a commitment to education, and they're working with us with the Polk Aviation Alliance and all of the kids at CFAA. But they also are about to tell us this week what the discount fare is going to be from March 28th to April 7th to fly on JetBlue. So if you know anybody making their reservations, there should be a hyperlink from our webpage to JetBlue's reservation page and a code to use to come down during that time. I have the privilege of being a staff resource to a variety of chairmen. The main one that I work with most often is Ken Deffenbach with the Nikon Media Center. And we changed a little bit of the credentialing processes, that instead of asking for media to be media on assignment with this new age of technology, we changed it so that all of the media that gets credentialed has to help us promote the show. They have to put something on their web page that's our poster or a hyperlink to our page, and we're really getting good feedback from that from a lot of people. They're very interested in helping us promote this event. We've got hospitality again from Aspen, thanks to Greg, and we've got golf carts and a continental breakfast, and every morning Bob and Lights have VIPs in there and guests and special events that are going on during the day. If you have somebody in your area that something special's happening, please let me know, because we can book them at 7:30 in the morning to be part of Lights and Bob's show, okay? And the press conferences we're doing this year, not only in the Nikon Media Center at the Davis Center, we're doing them also out at the exhibits. Because of the earlier time of the air show, we're trying to keep people out in the traffic and watching what's going on, so we're not asking them to go all the way back to the Davis Center. And we've got sponsors for lunches. We're also working to arrange a big screen so that all of you can see some of the new announcements from some of your favorite companies that might have been given. And OBI will be filming with Florida Aviation Network, everything that goes on in the media conference room. They're also going to be filming the swearing-in ceremony, and this is kind of near and dear to my heart as a grandmother. They're going to be filming the swearing-in ceremony, and we're going to upload it so that anybody that couldn't be here for the swearing-in ceremony on Saturday will be able to download it and see their kids sworn in. So that's a big deal. The Ben Sclair is another with GA News, and they've already started the process of calling for interviews and identifying people that are going to be daily volunteer stories in GA News in the 40 years. On our web page and Facebook, Kevin McNulty is NetWeave. He's another chairman that I'm kind of connected to. And Lights mentioned it. We have 32,000 likes on our Facebook page. EAA was a little bit concerned because we were a bigger hit than they were, than AirVenture was. So they combined their web pages to be their member page and AirVenture page, so they're up to 42,000. So we have a challenge to get 8,000 people more so that we can be up with our big page. But we are the most liked air show standing independently without members. We have 11,000 Twitter followers, and Dave Shellbetter also has Twitter and Facebook pages that people like, so we probably could combine those. Speaking of Dave Shellbetter, we have his 20th birthday celebration on Thursday night at the radio station. Dave is an amazing volunteer that goes around 365 days a year. You probably all have talked to him in some capacity. And he's building a deck, and right now he's got Aviators Hotline and IMC Radio that have committed funds so that the wood will be there. And we have a picture up on the website, or it will be up there shortly, of what the new deck is going to look like. And he's also seeking construction volunteers, so Don has more information on that. If you have, again, anybody in your area that we can tape an interview with or schedule a live interview on the radio, please give me the name so we can get that to Dave, or just give it to Dave directly because he's working out his schedule. We need to get people on there, so make sure that's done. Hinson Singleton is our International Visitors Chair. I don't know if he's here today. And this is kind of exciting for us. Last year was the first year that we moved away from the front gate to offer more hospitality to the international visitors. So we were at the tree line in the Southeast exhibit area. We're going to do that again this year. But we've already talked to Jane Kimball about having an interpreter at a window in the main admission area so that somebody's there that's multilingual that can help people, and there won't be a stall in the line or waiting for somebody to get there. We also are doing a lot of outreach. Hinson's going to be going around talking to the chairs in different areas, the museum, the exhibitors, so that if you need a translator, we can get a translator to you for whatever is going on. We're also focusing this year on the international students, and all you guys who use the United Kingdom cadets, we want them to register in the international tent, and we're actually going to have a youth event at the international tent on Thursday night that will be a dance around the world, and they're going to have a DJ for the 13 to 18-year-olds, and they're going to have a photographer that will take pictures and upload them so that they can send them home to their international partners and make sure that all of those countries know about that. And again, any sponsors that we have. Judith Cruz is an intern from Florida Southern who is multilingual, and she's contacted almost 11 embassies in the state who have agreed to put our posters up in their embassies, and they may be assisting us with hospitality. Argentina and Mexico are two big ones on the list. They're also approaching dance studios that might want to help with some of the costs for this Dance Around the World party. Joni Allen with Visit Central Florida and Ann McKee with the Welcome Stations are here to help you. If you have somebody that's lost, if you have somebody that needs more information about local housing or shopping or whatever they want to do, Laura's also working with the hotel industry to try and get a shuttle back and forth to the hotels this year so that there will be more interaction with the Lakeland community in Polk County. Museum Mingle. I'm not in charge of organizing this event, but I apologize to everybody profusely because we lost all of the life members last year for the Museum Mingle. And we are sure that that's not going to happen this year if we still have your good address, good phone number, good email, whatever it takes. We've got an expanded list of everybody that was ever a museum member, and it'll be Thursday night, and Christine and Rob are working on the details of that event. In the ambassador program, we have 347 individuals that have agreed to do it again this year. We've already sent them materials. They're promoting our 40th in 44 states. We are missing Alaska, Idaho, Maine, North Dakota, Vermont, Wisconsin, and even the District of Columbia. We have 13 international countries represented: Australia, Austria, Brazil, Canada, Chile, Dominican Republic, Germany, Italy, New Zealand, and Saudi Arabia. We have a Sultan in Riyadh, right, that is an ambassador for us. Spain, Sweden, Trinidad, and the West Indies. The last thing I want to mention, or one more thing too, Sam Graves in the congressional session on Saturday morning, please try and send somebody from your area so that you can interact directly with Congress. And if you have congressional representatives, Pat Phillips is our board member that I'm working with as a liaison. We will do everything we can to host your congressional representative. If you need to get him in here and you need a golf cart and you need anything to help get him into that meeting, we would love to have a crowd in here, because it's typically not been well attended and it can be very productive. So please make sure that somebody comes to that from your area. Last year we did more of a pictorial and autograph spaces in the program, and we're going to do that again this year. If there's an historical facet of 40 years that you believe deserves to be told to all of our guests, let us know next week, because we're starting to write those stories. One thing that I really need help with, and Lori Fuller's helping me with it. She was a paralegal in a previous life, so she likes digging into all this history. Everything that's named on this complex, whether it's Scott Crossfield or Tom Mack Lane or Peggy Brown Lane, or I know about the Davises and the Piedmont because that's actually been part of my world in the media center. But if there's something here that's named, and we're trying to do a history of it to say what their contribution was. And we'd really like more information. I'm going to be reading Bud's book more closely and making sure that's going on. And while I mention that, there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Bud Davidson has written Unfreeze Your Bird, right? Is that the name? And it's really cool. It's got a whole bunch of names in there, and you'll probably mentioned. They're going to be making hard copies of the book, and not the soft copies will be available for everybody. But if you want a hard copy, see Janet in the back and put your name on a list so that we know how many hard copies to order. And we'll keep taking orders until when, Bud? Like middle of February? Is that good? Longer, March 1st. Okay, March 1st. And the bigger thing is the info guide and the map. I have a very special plea for you guys. The info guide and the map are not only details about the forums and the workshops and the daily schedules, they're also opportunities for advertising that Laura handles. But to go to design and print, we need some of the names for those companies, and we need anybody that wants to contribute something pretty quickly. Everything we do, as Tracy's mentioned and others have mentioned, is a fundraiser for Sun and Fun, and the money goes back into education. Everyone in town knows that we have a fly-in once a year, but we are continuing to work on making sure that everyone knows we have year-round events and students who benefit from our 501c3. If you eat somewhere, shop somewhere, have anybody that you think might be a philanthropist, get them to Laura for advertising, or better yet, to Lights and Tracy so that they can become our next benefactor. Help us spread the word of the remarkable mentors on the campus and the performance of our students that exceeds many of the schools in Polk County. Make sure you pick up one of these because it's year-round events that you can go to. They've got some in the back, and if we miss them, you've got them in the main office and up at the museum. These are all the things that we're doing that we own. They're not facility rentals. They're our events. And they're things that we can use you for as volunteers the rest of the time that Robin will probably address at some point. But we can't live without you guys, and we really appreciate you. Thank you. And the next person after me is Rob and John Iskra with Education.
All right, hello everyone, good morning, afternoon, close, soon to be. Hey, I'm Rob Williams, new here. Just want to say thank you first of all, and thank you to the board and Lights for allowing me the opportunity to come here and try try to bridge the gap between education and actually getting in the aircraft and turning the wrenches here. A little that's going on is we have our museum member mingle that we mentioned out. I'm working with Christine and John right now about coordinating that, and invitations will be soon to follow on that. As far as what's going to happen in the museum during the fly-in, we're very fortunate to have the crews of the SR-71 Blackbird that are going to be here on campus the entire week, coordinating with Jochen on having some press conferences for them, in addition to doing some lectures in the museum. Also have international flight ferry services coming around. They're going to talk about, in coordination with Judy Rice's flights around the world that she has going on, what his services and aeronautical decision-making out there for our pilot group. Also, some other things, being a former pilot, being laid off a few times, I'm sure you guys can all relate to that. I was a teacher in a life before that. So what I'm really focusing on here is our education day. And the theme is Cradle to Career. So what we're going to have out there is we're focusing on our local schools here in the area, plus all of our exhibitor schools are going to be out in the pavilion as of right now, and we're going to have presenters out there for them. So it can focus on the STEM activities to outreach to those schools. So Sleepy Hill Middle School, Lakeland Highlands Middle School, we have a tremendous opportunity with our partners at Polk State and Central Florida Aerospace Academy. In addition to anyone else that wants to come out, they're going to have Mosey, the Smithsonian Air and Space Institution, Judy Rice, and actually Lights just got a commitment last night from Zero G. They're going to come out there and give presentations to us. So let's get the kids excited, to get the parents excited to see what's happening out there, and then the parents can physically see that gap to where they can walk across into the museum for our first ever career day. So they can see, they come right across the street there. Right now I have 4 commitments for different aerospace companies to come, pilots, mechanics, flight operations, what we're really focusing on right now. Going to get the word out on that. We're going to start out with 9 to 10 companies, and hopefully in the future it can grow and we can create a lot of jobs here for people in Florida that need it right now. Also, another person that's going to be helping us out is Ravi. He was here last year. He's our official ambassador for Sun and Fun. So we're going to get him out to the local schools here, get the kids excited about what's happening here out on the campus, and bridge that gap. That's what I really want to focus on, is not just making a better pilot, but making a better citizen when they leave here. Somebody who can contribute and we can be proud of. So that's where I'm at right now with it. I wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity, and look forward to working with you all in the future here. Let Mr. Iskra here talk.
Thank you, Rob. I'm so excited about having Rob here. He's done a wonderful job getting the museum in this transition going to follow our mission statement. I paraphrase it. It's something like to preserve the past and enhance the future, educating and inspiring all people. It fits right into education, and every day we take that to heart. Thanks to Lights and the board for giving us a clear direction to go in. And we have some manifestations of that through our volunteer force. In fact, walking in, I saw our student tour volunteer chairman, Kat Scanato. She's right in the back. She'll be doing student tours, which, working with Lights and Trace, who were able to get, if not free, at drastically reduced rates that will be consistent with our mission statement, and we're very thrilled to have Kat supervising that. In the museum also, we'll have Joyce and Ernie Sanborn. They'll be helping out with the museum. They're right back there. I see them back there. And the education is wonderful, but gosh, we need you volunteers so desperately. Also on our Saturday, we will be having the Aerospace Educators Workshop, and this is Barbara Walters Phillips. I don't know if she's here or not today. There she is right in the back. Yes, wonderful. And these things that happen during Sun and Fun to promote our mission statement, to get education happening, is not possible without you. We thank you so much.
Let me introduce here Mr. Dave Fuller, coming on up.
All right.
How you all doing? Over the last 6 years, we've had Bright House providing our internet service, both wired and Wi-Fi. And during that time, we've had a number of issues. The biggest problem has been our primary concern was exhibitors being able to get online and run their business, run credit cards, do what they have to do on the internet. So Last year, we decided to put in our own Wi-Fi system. So Bright House is no longer going to be available on the site. We're in the process of installing the new Wi-Fi and wired internet access system as we speak. We've replaced all the network switching with managed switches. We re-engineered the entire network to be redundant, so if some part goes down, the system won't go down. We're combining 2 internet providers. Actually, it's FiOS, and we're connected to a Bright House cable service, but the combined speed of 320 megabits to service everybody's here. So the internet speeds will be higher. The logon process will be a lot easier. The entire system will be more dependable. We've expanded coverage to the east to Paradise City, so they'll have an access point sitting out there. We've expanded coverage to the west to Miss Betty's campground, so the campers will have access out there. That's been kind of a dead zone. We are also reducing the cost of wired service to exhibitors. Bright House was charging $500 for a week of wired service. We brought that down to $300. And as Tracy mentioned, we're installing a new web-based registration system, which goes hand in hand with replacing our internet access, because this new registration system depends on us having internet access. And if we lose our internet, we won't be able to sell any tickets. So we're doing everything to make sure that that system is redundant and as dependable as it can be. If we lose our Verizon connection, we still have a Bright House connection. It'll run a lot slower, but it'll run. All the sales information that's coming through those registers will be centralized, where before, if we had a workstation sitting out in preferred seating, that station was a standalone, and at the end of the day, we would have to go and collect the data that was in that station, bring it back to the main server, load it in, the next morning check to make sure it loaded right, and then we would have reports maybe by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon of what happened on the day before. All the sales information this year is going to be in one central server and live, so that anybody that needs to in the administration can go online and see what we're doing up to the minute. And the people in the IT department don't have to stay here till 9 o'clock at night making sure that all the information has been gathered. And that's about it. That's all I have. It's an update. It's ongoing. The system is currently up and running in the Early Bird Campground, the Back Acres Campground, in the hangars and around the hangars. And it's working well. It's working as advertised. That's all I have. Who's next? Don Huey's up next.
Good morning. Everybody okay? Good? All right. All the early birds that are here, obviously if you're not here, you won't hear this announcement, but please stand up. Okay, come on, don't be shy. We know you're out there. A huge thank you. And there's some yearly birds that have been out here working as well. We really, what can you do with her? But we really could not do it without these birds. It's been great. When you came in on Doolittle this morning, you noticed, hopefully you noticed, on the left side of the Doolittle, all of the buildings on Education Row now match the high school. The high school had theirs painted first, but we knew all along. We told them what color to paint it. So it's a very patriotic red, white, and blue. So looks great. Also, as you looked on the south side of Doolittle, you'll see the pads that are in place now. Rada Construction put those in place last week for the moving of the 727. That's the FedEx plane. We are hopefully planning on this being Wednesday if we don't have any more rain. Now, rain is going to be a hindrance because a little difference in moving this plane. We got about a half a mile to move it, but it's being moved on city streets. If it is raining and still muddy, then Lights has volunteered to fly it and do a short land. So you may want to come out Wednesday with your lawn chairs. Leroy never seen a bad wreck before. One more hook. Yeah, we can put a hook out there for you. Trust me. Trees have been trimmed. If you've seen, we've raised up the skirts on all the trees so that you've got a better view. Also to keep the motorhomes from having their deck or their tops removed. You saw Sandy mentioned about Dave Shellbetter. We've removed the deck. He has plans for a new deck for the front, the west side, and the rear. All be connected. So he'll have a big spot of place for entertainment. Mechanics, electricians, plumbers, carpenters, everybody has been really just busy. We appreciate it. They've been pressure washing. The Nature Bridge is being pressure washed and will be repaired, so it won't be as slippery as it has been in the past. New lighting will be installed next week in the pavilion. Now this is new, replaces all the incandescent lighting. It will be brighter in there, and all of this is through a grant that we can work with the City of Lakeland, the electric department, which will pay for 50% of the cost on this. So it's a good savings. Any of you business owners that need to upgrade your lighting in your buildings or hangars or whatever, there's a lot of opportunities for that. The striping, Mark Rittermeyer will be in the back. If anybody needs to have striping done, he asks that you please get with him so we don't wait till the last minute on that. Some of the buildings that have been repaired, painted is the Judge's building. I know that they were well past due, so they'll be all shiny now, as well as the seaplane building. Fences have been repaired, so actually we've not had a whole lot of time to sit around this year, and that's not good. So we need more sit time. Bob, you did not hear that. Okay, anybody have any questions for me? Good, okay. Now, I am honored this morning to be able to introduce this next person. She will be Lisa Womack's replacement. Because if there's anybody that can crack a whip, baby, this one can. Robin, come on in.
Okay, what a staff we have here, you know what I'm saying? Oh. All right. I'm going to talk to you about Volunteer Day, which is Thursday. But before I get there, I have something to share with you about one of your own. Ren Molnar, which I don't know if all of you know him, but he is the gentleman that has been doing our free flights. He comes here every day and does classes. He's teaching a CAD class. He does numerous other things. And he's quietly going around the back of everybody and doing all these wonderful things with the kids. And he has 2 students in the academy, which are very charming. But he had a serious health issue and was hospitalized and had surgery. And this is where you come in. He is really needing the encouragement of his family. Now, we talk about family all the time, and one of our family is down. We need to rally. So I'm asking for you to rally right now. This is where you come in. Cards, encouraging words, and if you can, make a financial donation to his recuperation and his surgery and what have you. Expenses of the family would be appreciated greatly. Leighton Hunter, wave your arm up back there. He will be in the back if you want to do something today. If not, you can see me or John Iskra to help this family. So I'm asking you to rally for one of your own. Okay? All right. Now, to Volunteer Day. Volunteer Day, which is Thursday, we have some events that will be happening. The first one that I want to talk about is Pioneer Day. We usually call Thursday Pioneer Day, and they have a luncheon, and they celebrate each other, and we give them pins, and we talk about the past. They get to fellowship with one another. It's a really great time to see some of the founders that were the ones that started this place that we call Family Sun and Fun. And then after that, they go up to the show to watch. But now that those changes have happened, Lights and I might have to talk about that. So anyway, you learn so much when you come to these meetings, I'm telling you. Dave Shellbetter will be interviewing volunteers on his new porch, and we hope to get a wide range of volunteers. So if I come to you and say, I'd like you to be one of the people they interview, you're going to say, oh, Robin, I will be glad to do that. So be on the watch, because I will be searching you out. So be kind, and P&K, remember that. That's our motto now. Okay, and then we have Ben Sclair with the Sun and Fun Today that also will be featuring volunteers through the week in the paper. We are going to make this a big celebration. We want you, those of you that have a story to tell, don't be afraid to tell it. It's what it's about. We want to hear from you. Okay, this next item is not set in stone, so please, as Don Huey would say, don't get wrapped around the axle. So, here we go. We are currently planning a way to honor our service pin recipients this year. Because it's the 40th year, we would like, before the evening program on Thursday night, invite all the pin recipients, I'm talking 5-year to 40-year, to come and be honored before. So we're talking 5, 6 o'clock. We'll get more information out to you, but I know that some of you chairmen have special things that you do during your stay here with your volunteers. You give your pins out. So Laura and I are going to put together an email you, and we want your feedback about that idea. That'll be Thursday night, so we'll have all the pin recipients come up. We'll have them listed on a screen. We're going to really do it up. So please, when you hear from us, don't sit around and twiddle your thumbs and say, well, I'll get to that. Really get back with us, because I want to make this Volunteer Day special. On a side note, Chairman, if you would look over your rosters and help me make sure that this year every pin recipient that deserves to get a pin, and you all deserve to get a pin, okay? I'm not trying to exclude anyone. But we go 5-year, 10-year, 15-year, 20, and on to 40. If they are in that category and you know that they're going to get a pin, send me an email or call me on the phone. You all have my cell, you all have my landline, so there's no reason to not contact me. Let me know so that this year we do not miss anyone. Now last year there were some people that pins didn't get delivered. We're going to incorporate those people into the pin ceremony this year. So please forgive us. If you got missed last year, please forgive us, because you know how important that is. I talk about it every year. I talk about how important they are, so don't forget. Another great thing, which I really like, is we're having a Jumbotron, which you've heard about already, but we're going to list pin recipients. We're going to show pictures of people getting their pin. We're going to show pictures of you in action in this area. Of working, wherever you are. We're going to show pictures of you, so be good when we're taking pictures. I have two special people that work with me this year. One you already know, Janet Greenwood. She's sitting right there, okay? And Martha Ellman. She's sitting right back there. Stand up, Martha. Okay. These two people are my right and left hand. So they're going to be calling or emailing you or touching base with you because we are beginning to get the flow of volunteers on the website that want to come in and help. If you hear from one of them, get back with one of them because they are trying to place people and get them in here. Now, it's been kind of slow, but I know some of you have already heard from them. And I hope that they are getting back with you in a timely manner. Are they, Martha? Oh, some are. Okay, people. Chop, chop, lamb chop. So anyway, get with them. Also, another good thing is our announcer stand is going to mention our 40-year recipients. When I ran that report and I saw 24 names, I was so excited. We are going to do our best to honor those people because, remember, they were the people that one day had a dream and they put it in action. And because of that, we're here. And that's a big deal. I have a reason to get up every day because those people had a dream and they put it in action. And here we all are. And this isn't even all of us. So that's a really great thing. If you have a need, recruitment-wise, use the website. It is your friend. It is. And people look at it because I read all the time. I get people going, I saw this job on the website. I want to do that. So they are applying. If you have a need in your area, you have a volunteer hole that needs to be filled, put it on the website and we'll do our best, our very best, to fill that need. Let's see here. Trying to get you moving along here. Okay. Oh, last year I went around and volunteered in some areas. I went to Donna Fran's area and I had a blast. I marshaled planes, which is a very frightening thing. You should be frightened about that. And I rang the bell on the tram and almost drove the tractor driver crazy. I loved it. I had such a good time. And I went out with Kenny Higgins' group and I learned about what they do and the importance of what they do, and I had a great time there. I was a raider. Thank you very much. And I went around and met a lot of people that way. So this year I've already talked to Flipper and I'm going to go out there and learn about that. And the whole purpose of me doing this is so that I can get more acquainted with what all of you do, because if I know what you do, they'll know what I'm doing, Martha and Janet, because we will be able to place people according to their talent, which is very important. When I first came here, I was throwing people everywhere, and people were throwing them back at me going, Robin, you can't just throw anybody out on the flight line. I went, oh, okay, what do I have to do? So I'm learning that, and I've gotten better over the years. This will be 11 for me, and I'm very excited about that. So if you have anything you need, volunteer-wise, call me, email me, call Janet or Martha. When you call the main number, they'll send you wherever you need. I love you all. I always miss you when you're gone, and that's all I got. But I get the honor of bringing up the lovely, the talented lady that holds your equipment list and requests close to her heart, Lola Vaughn. You're welcome. Really appreciate it.
Now, it is true. Yes. Anyway, who's ready for the 40th anniversary of Sun and Fun? I've been here as a staff member for 20 of those years, and I'm very thankful that I can call you guys my family. I voiced or recorded my notes into my little iPad last night, and when I put down there the little thing about who's ready for the 40th anniversary of Sun and Fun, it came back and said, "Are you ready for the anniversary of some fun?" So, are you? Okay. I am here to tell you a lot of boring stuff I go through every year. Some things are a little bit new, but I want to tell you about a story that happened to me night before last. We've had a lot of people up here talking about what we're doing for education, how the kids are affecting what we're doing here on site. I'm sitting at Walmart, had an issue with a tire on my car, sitting in the waiting room thinking about my mom because she's had a few issues this week. Mine not on Sun and Fun for once. This young man comes around the corner into the waiting room and he looks at me and he says, "Do you work for Sun and Fun?" And I looked at him and I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Oh," I said, "How did you know?" He said, "Well, I saw all that stuff in your car." And I went, "Okay." He goes, "I graduated from CFAA last year." And he says, "And I want to be a helicopter pilot." He worked there at Walmart in the tire department, but he still wants to be a helicopter pilot. He's got a neighbor that flies helicopters, and he is wanting to be a helicopter pilot, and I told him never to lose that dream. We're making a difference here. We're touching a lot of people. Just keep that in mind. What you're doing is very, very important. Okay, I'm going to get down to business here. All the chairmen in the room, have you signed in and accepted your chairmanship? If any of you have not, please let me know why you haven't. If you don't have your access information, please get in touch with me. I won't keep it a secret from you. It is something that you need to do in order to get the job done for me so I can get you what you need for the fly-in. We have had a couple of issues with the credential and equipment website this year as to adding chairman or co-chairman and division co-chairman. According to what Charlie told me this morning, we think we have that rectified. If you go in to try to add a chairman to your workforce and it doesn't work, please let me know so Charlie and I can get on that as quickly as possible. If you went in to start your credentialing process this year and your list didn't look like it had a lot of people on it, the reason for that is that for some reason, somehow or some way, we did not get your volunteer information for 2013. I have actually spoke with 2 or 3 chairmen that for some reason or another, we did not get their volunteer cards last year. There's nothing that we can really do about that at this point other than you can go back into the system and add those volunteers back onto your list by going into the existing volunteer area link that is at the top of your credential page. You need to do that, but if you're still hanging on to 2013 volunteer cards, you need to get them to me. Because after the fly-in, we will add them into the system before we start on the 2014 cards. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to hold on to the cards is you can actually go into the site under each volunteer's name. There's a little link there that has an abbreviation for the word update. You can click on that and actually add their hours in right after the fly-in, and your work is done. The one thing that I would ask you to do is if you could go into that volunteer's record and also update their address if you have the time to do that. We would still like to see the cards in case you don't want to update the address or you don't have time, just so we can make sure that we have the best contact information on them. But we set this up so it kind of ensures that we're going to get the records updated. Not only is it fair to your volunteers to make sure that we have their information, it helps Robin get the service pins out to those who've actually earned them. So please help us get the volunteer cards in. It's a very, very important aspect of the fly-in. Okay, also, the next thing that I need to talk with you about is the event checklist on that same site, the SNF VOL website. Once you have completed either your equipment request or your credential request, you need to go back to the event checklist portion of that website and let me know you're ready for me to review it. Your job is not done until you have clicked the little boxes there that say I'm submitting my credentials or I'm submitting my equipment. If you don't do that, I won't review anything, so you need to let me know that. Okay, this year the equipment request deadline is February the 15th. So once February the 15th goes by, I'm going to start reviewing what's there. Anything after that, I can't promise you because I've got vendors chewing on me for information in order to make orders. So please help me with that and get your equipment database or your equipment information to me by the 15th of February. The credential system is not as critical as far as when you get that done because the way we do the credentials now, we can fill them pretty quickly. So I'm not really going to set a deadline because people add on continuously, and I think for the most part that went pretty well last year. The other thing that you need to do online again this year, it was new last year, is your lunch request, your volunteer lunch request. I know Rich gets on there and looks at what's already in, and that's how he bases his orders for the week of the fly-in. So the sooner you can do that, it helps Rich and his people put their numbers together and get the orders out, and so we make sure we have the product that we need in order to feed you during the week. Okay, the SNF VOL website is the main chairman website, but we do have a page on the main Sun and Fun website that really doesn't have as much information on it that it used to, but it does have our purchase order policy on it. It has a sign shop form on it, and when the volunteer handbook will be completed, it will have a link there, but I will also send the chairman out a copy of that as well. It has a chairman nomination form on it. Now, I sent a email out about a week or so ago with a chairman nomination form included in on that. And for those of you who are new or maybe have forgotten, that particular form is for you to nominate one of your volunteers who you feel is worthy of getting a Chairman of the Board award. That is an award that Bob Knight presents to volunteers who are chosen for the award. They are presented during the fly-in. So if you have someone in your area that has gone beyond their normal expectations, I guess, please use that form and nominate them for a chairman award. We have a very long list of volunteers on our website that have received this award. A lot of volunteer hours have been put in by those volunteers. They need to be recognized, so if someone is doing a tremendous job in your area, please show them that they have your support. Okay, credentials will once again be issued at the Crossville Center as they were last year in the credential office there. Joe's not here today. No. Joe Thompson, who has worked alongside of me for the 20 years that I've been here, helping with the credentials, decided to step away from the chairmanship this year. And I was very sad about that. She and I have worked tremendously together. I've enjoyed every year working with her and love her so. Her co-chairman, Libby Morgan, has decided to take the reins up and continue on the charge. So you'll see new face down there. Well, not a new face, but you'll see Libby as chairman, and then she will have her team helping her. So just to give you a little bit of a transition there. Also, the Volunteer Center, there's going to be some changes up. I'll have some more information to come as far as the little building that is out by the Bueller Restoration. We're going to be changing up some functionality there. we may end up making the credential office more of a volunteer center, like to drop off cards and do things like that, but I'll have more information on that in the days and weeks to come. Okay, Robin didn't mention the Sun and Fun t-shirts. I guess she wanted me to have the limelight on that, but we don't have a signature on a dotted line right now for the sponsor that normally sponsors our t-shirts, but we have a really good feeling that that's going to happen and should know sometime this next week. So the process will basically be the same. We'll present the volunteers who order them one t-shirt as long as we have your size. Those orders will come through the chairman, and we'll present the one t-shirt, and then you will have the ability to purchase extras as needed. The one thing that we are going to ask you to do is to, on Thursday, Volunteer Day, to wear your t-shirt. We want whatever color they end up being, which we haven't decided, and if you got a suggestion, let me know. But we want this to be a sea of whatever color that is. Excuse me, microphone. So please wear your t-shirt on Thursday. Oh, the other thing that we're thinking about doing, and of course this is still something that's kind of out there and we haven't really nailed anything down, on that day, somewhere on site, we don't know what time yet, we don't know the exact location, but we would like as many volunteers to converge in one area. We're going to make the numbers 40, all wearing the same color t-shirt, and we're going to have someone fly over and take a picture of us. So we'll give you more information as when that happens, if it happens. We hope to have that happen. Okay. So far, boring stuff, right? It's not going to get any better. Okay. Everybody wants a golf cart. Everybody wants a golf cart. Some people bring their private carts here. I do my best to accommodate the needs of the golf carts. Everybody knows the rules. Unless you got a core sticker, you don't drive in the core area. If you bring your private cart, you have to give me information on it or you don't get a sticker. One more rule. You will not drive your golf carts through exhibit spaces. We are having complaints. We are going to lose some of our very, very dedicated exhibitors. We cannot drive through exhibit spaces. If I see someone driving through an exhibit space, it's not going to be very pretty. So please, stay out of the exhibit spaces. They pay a lot of money to be here and conduct business, and we don't need to be riding through their areas. Okay. Put the word out there. I need a volunteer that knows how to do AutoCAD. All those maps that I produce, I need help with them. So if you know of someone, please have them contact me. Right now, we're basically running a very old version of AutoCAD. We hope to have that upgraded, but at this moment, it's an old version. Please spread the word, and if you know of someone, have them contact me. I had a very interesting meeting this week with our Hotel Motel Association here in Lakeland, and they have bitten the bullet and are attempting to try to formalize hotel transportation service to and from Sun and Fun for our guests. Yes. It is in the infant stage. We're going to be meeting with Preston Motors next week, I believe, and he's the gentleman with the large bus services that is willing to help us, and we're going to get that nailed down, and as that comes along, I will be providing more information on that. Okay, let's see now. I want everybody in the room who is a chairman of an area to stand up. Everybody else has gotten to stand up. So, chairman. Woo-hoo! I enjoy working with each and every one of you guys. We have some new chairmen this year, so I would like for you to welcome them into the ranks. We have Christine, who is actually a staff member, but she's taken the reins over to operate the Dinner with Legends, which is the dinner that Greg Gibson spoke about earlier. Lori Fuller, who is also a staff member, will also be, she will be running the comm center during the fly-in, which is our switchboard and information bureau, which will be co-located with the Crossville Center credentialing office. Fly-in supply, Wayne Juniper, this is kind of a misnomer. He also works for our security area. He is going to be working in fly-in supply for us, I believe, up until the event. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do during the fly-in, but Wayne has agreed to help on. He's working with Charlie as far as keeping up or getting inventories on our equipment all set up. Food service, Katie Chalupski, I believe is how it is pronounced, who used to be Katie Newmack, is also a staff member, but she's taking over our food service again this year. She did it year before last. Another staff member, you met him earlier, Rob Williams, who's with the museum and the new ACE operation. Okay, Rick Hayes, who has been a raider for, I believe, 10 years, he told me. I'm not exactly sure on that, but he is our new Raiders chairman this year. Greg Gibson, who you met earlier, over sponsors. Nancy Leanouts, Lights' significant other, is going to be spearheading or being our liaison with the 927 chalets and also overseeing the operation at the sponsors' chalets this year. As I said before, Libby Morgan will be doing the chairmanship of the credential office, and Marcia Buckingham is taking over the chairmanship of our Sun and Fun workshops. Our very own Vic Boyce decided that it was time for him to step aside. He's not stepping away. He's going to stay involved, which we're very, very happy about that. Thank you, Vic, for all your years of service to Sun and Fun. So these are our new chairmen. Or if any of you are in the audience, would you please stand up so we could put a name with a face? Hi, Marcia. Anyway, okay, so that is about all that. Oh, t-shirt or gift shop. Susan Hiley asked me to mention that the gift shop in the Air Museum will be open today. All the t-shirts are 50% off today except for the Harley Davidson t-shirts. She'll be there normal hours, I am assuming, for the museum, so go shop. And I am the last one in of staff, so I am going to ask Sue Tarver to come up and share some sign shop information. Thank you, guys. I hope y'all have a great fly-in.
Good morning. I'll make this short and sweet. The sign shop deadline this year is Friday, February 28th at 3 p.m., including emails. I'll be in the shop today until 2 if you need to place an order for this year's fly-in. In the 10 years I've been in the sign shop, the volunteers have made over 7,000 signs. I want to thank them all for the wonderful job they do. And now to assist you, we have storage bins upstairs in the maintenance building. If you need storage space, please contact me. You will be assigned a bin number for your use. Now, I don't have room up there for your garbage pails and all that, just your signs, okay? You will be responsible for storing, cleaning, retrieving, and displaying your area signs. I don't have the staff to do that for you. In order to keep saving money for Sun and Fun, you should store and save your signs from year to year. Taking your signs off the buildings and storing them inside will make the signs last almost forever. If you leave them outside on the buildings, they only last 3 to 5 years. If you email me your sign order, please do not assume that I have received it. I will try to answer your email to confirm that I have it as soon as possible. Please look for that. If you don't get it, I didn't get your order and the sign won't be ready for you when you come looking for it. Also, be sure to include a telephone number so I can call and ask you questions. Thank you all for your help in keeping up with your signs, and I look forward to helping you with your orders soon. Have a great and productive day.
Hi, I'm Margaret Meyer. No, I forgot to mention something. There's going to be a bit of a change in the Core Pass request policy and request operation. Watch for it, you chairman, watch for an email. I'll be sending you some information on that and the link. So I'm not going to get into the details now because it's a little confusing. But anyway, watch for an email from me. Thank you.
All right, going to wrap this up right now. A couple of quick hodgepodge things you need to know about. Everybody understands the issue with the FAA, right? Controllers. Bob Knight, along with Gene Conrad, took a special trip to meet with the administrator, Mr. Michael Warda. A couple of weeks ago in Washington, D.C., they met with him and his team for a couple of hours. The discussion was, we want you to come back. We need the help of the FAA. It ensures a safe operation. They agreed they're going to do exactly that. They'll do everything they can to keep the cost down. It'll be somewhere around $250,000. We will pay that. We'll do that with the state of Florida, with Lakeland Airport, and with the help of Visit Florida. Those entities, as well as Sun and Fun, will cover the cost to make that happen. It's a new world order, whether we like it or not. We are not fighting them on this. We are teamed together. They're our friends. We want to make this a partnership for the future because this is not going to go away. So we're dealing with that, and we're just please understand that when somebody comes up and says, hey, how about some free tickets? They don't cost you anything, right? Give me some wristbands. Well, you saw what Tracy put up there. Take that $250,000, the other $1.2 million just to put this thing on, the cost to keep this place rented from the Lakeland Airport and the insurance, you're looking at over $2 million just to put this thing on. The tickets are not free. Please understand that. That's the only way we survive is getting people to pay to come through the gate. If they don't pay to come through the gate, we cease to exist. You physically can't afford this. The lunches. There's over 200 sitting over there waiting on you. I ask that when you leave here, get those before you go to your meeting. On the way out, if you want a hard copy of the Unfreeze Your Bird, the story of Sun and Fun, and it doesn't say the 40th year, okay? We can sit here and argue all day long, is it 40 years, is it 41, was it born in 74, was it started in 75? The reality is we've got 40 years of experience here, and the book is about all the way up through about 2011, 2012, and it tells the best we could get, what Bud could create was the most accurate remembrance with documents and people's accounting of what transpired to build Sun and Fun. Now, if you think it will not be challenged, you're sadly mistaken. Everybody has a different way of remembering what happened, but this is the very best rendition, accounting of the creation and the sustenance of Sun and Fun. So a hard copy will be available. It's going to be somewhere below $25. If you sign up for it, you don't want it, that's going to be fine. I just need a rough number. We're making 600 softbound copies. They'll be made available to the volunteer force first, and then they'll go on to the general public. But they will, and we can always order more. That's not an issue. But once we make that run on the hardbacks, we're not making another run on those most likely because it gets expensive. But we will order hopefully somewhere 100 plus of those, and the price will be much lower. It'll be somewhere well below $25. Now, that's it for me. Does anybody have an issue, complaint, comment, critique, question that you would like to get out in front of everybody that I may have missed? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. The yellow lot is the same place. The tram will start at 7 in the morning, and it will run continuously back and forth. It will not be the same tram that makes all the tours. It's the tram that goes back and forth for the yellow lot to transport all those folks that park there. So please don't start walking from there unless you just want the exercise. You can stand right there, and the yellow lot tram will be there almost every 15 to 20 minutes, round the clock, picking you up and moving you back and forth to the yellow lot from wherever the transportation center is. So, and you can get off along the way. Take advantage of that. That's what it's there for. Sir. Oh, thank you. Yes. the Sprint Cup racing. It's a cat shot and sprint. Craig is running that for us. It's going to happen on Thursday. We're going to do it, I think it's going to be late morning. We've invited the real race teams to come down here. I'm not so sure that those folks will make it, but we're going to have hopefully around 20 plus entrants, and we'll actually take off out of Lake Linder, do a set course with people looking at them flying over to make sure they fly the course, and then come back in, and then we'll have a celebration, whoever wins that, with trophies later on that evening. 40 miles. Sarah, I stand corrected, 2 and 3 in the afternoon on Thursday. That's in the time frame that we have between the Blue Angels, and then it'll be 40 miles to recognize the 40th anniversary of Sun and Fun. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. What we're trying to do, that's always been an issue. We only have to do it when we have a jet team. What we're trying to do this year is to reduce that movement area. So we're working with the Blue Angels to figure out exactly where that line's going to be. Will there be movement? Yes, sir, there will be. Will it be exactly like it was previous years? I hope not. We're trying to get that line to be not so far south and to give more room in the front. People will get notice up front that you're supposed to move out of there. And now, turn all your tape recorders off. We're going to do everything we can to notify people to move out of there, but I'm not sending in armed guards to make it happen. Okay? Got that? Questions? Anything? Anyone? Everybody happy? You're hungry? You're thrilled? I love every one of you. Put that, where's it at up here? Where's my last one? You already had it up there? It's what you guys do. Thank you very much. You're helping us all build that brighter future. Have a great lunch. Have a great day. Have a great life. See you the next day.